Greetings, trombonists at large, Bryant Byers. I am the Vagrant Trombone here today to talk to you about my beloved Bach 36 tenor trombone. This trombone is a convertible version of this trombone. It sports standard Bach classical weight slides, all brass, and an 8-inch bell flare. Now this instrument is considered a medium bore classical tenor trombone, and it uses a standard tenor trombone shank a la the Bach 6, 8, 12, or 16, as well as the same connector at the bell for those same trombones. Now the slides are slightly wider. It is a 525 bore instrument, straight instrument, and it has a bell that is the same in specs as far as flare as the Bach 42 bell, large bore tenor trombone, except it has an 8-inch flare instead of an 8.5 or a 9-inch flare. This gives the instrument slightly more brilliance in the sound, a little brighter, and it's a little faster tonguing. It's not as diffused sound. And some consider the Bach 36 or a 525 bore instrument to not really be that useful, kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none type of instrument. And I don't feel that way about it at all. In fact, I have found my Bach 36 to be extremely useful. And again, mine is a convertible. I'll talk about that in a minute. But when oftentimes, as I've mentioned in videos in the past, I work a lot in the pit. I do a lot of pit work and in orchestra pits. And in sometimes some of these shows, I want to get a more classical feel, classical style, doing something like Sound of Music or Carousel. And I find that the Bach 36 really meets that need, because when I've taken a large bore tenor trombone, or bass trombone for that matter, into the pit, it's almost overwhelming when I'm playing with a smaller group of 8 to 15 people. And so the Bach 36, I'm able to use that same kind of energy, but not overwhelm the pit. Oftentimes there's a baffle that is not too far away from the end of my horn, and when I'm playing with a larger instrument, it's as though there's not enough room for the sound to really resonate properly in that smaller environment. The Bach 36 gives me really good feedback, and I don't feel quite so much resistance to the sound being able to play in a room. Oftentimes when I'm using one of those bigger instruments, I feel like I have to hold back, and holding back for the entire run of a show, oftentimes, for me at least, leads to things like chip notes, playing out of tune, losing good air support. And so I've been glad and find it very useful to have my Bach 36. I consider it kind of like that spare club in my golf bag. It's not something that I use a lot, but when I need it, I'm glad I have it. Oftentimes with the newer literature that rewritten books for a lot of shows, the books are written in a way that you really need to have the advantage of a trigger to be able to play E flat, D, D flat. In fact, in Wizard of Oz that I just played last year, there was a low B in it, and I was really glad to be able to pull that extension, grab that trigger, and nail that note. And it might have only been one note in the entire show, but it was an important note. And so I do have an F attachment that goes onto this instrument. It's very simple. You just undo these wing nuts and remove the bell, take out the tuning slide, put the tuning slide and bell onto this, and just reattach it. I'm not going to do that for you here. There's no reason. We all know what a tenor trombone with an F attachment on it looks like, right? So that's the reason why I like to have a conversion. Also, sometimes because there's that baffle with a microphone sitting right next to it, I need the ability to play quickly and not have to worry about possibly hitting the baffle and bouncing my slide into the boom of the microphone or the microphone itself. No one is your friend in the room when you start banging around their microphone and their microphone boom. And maybe my slide doesn't like it that much either. But I also consider the Bach 36 tenor trombone to be very useful for students. I've had students who've owned a 525 bore instrument or a Bach 36 who've been able to use that instrument from going from high school into college before they've made that decision whether they want to go legit or whether they want to go commercial. And it allows them the latitude in early college to be able to do both. Again, that jack of all trades, master of none, because they can use it in jazz band. And if they want to go that direction, then they can go out and get that small bore tenor trombone that they really want. But they still have the option of still owning a Bach 36 or a 525 bore horn that they can use to do the occasional Christmas gig or Easter or something like that with a small classical group. For the person who decides to go more legit and do the symphony thing, they can get that wonderful large bore tenor trombone, but they still have the smaller bore option that they can use in lighter work like Verdi or Glinka, where it was written for an alto trombone. But with the character of orchestras today, an alto really doesn't always apply, so you might want to use something that's a little smaller but still have a good presence. And the Bach 36 is a good choice for that as well. So again, kind of a master of none. But for me, that I've found that it works extremely well for what I use it for, and is the right instrument for the right job. And that's about all I have to say about the Bach 36. But there's something that has come up in some of my videos recently about my panache, about my choice of fashion, shall we say, in most of it directed at my hat. Well, as you can see, it's kind of dark here, and it's winter. And in the summertime, I like being outside and doing stuff, but in the wintertime, I'm kind of stuck inside, so I'm here making videos for you guys. And, well, it's cold. And I don't want to keep my house at a warm temperature, and not being a man of much hair anymore, I want to keep my head warm, but I don't want to wear a hat indoors. Not only that, but when the errant person rides up on their bicycle to come knock on my door and hand me a watchtower or something like that, when I answer the door with this hat on, they tend to be afraid and go away and never come back. And so it works in a number of ways for me. And again, you know, for me, it works. So, no one ever complains why Ren and Stimpy wear fezzes. So, I hope you've found this video somewhat enjoyable and possibly informative. And thank you for watching.